This is Spoken by Elswith, a Femdom Hypnosis podcast, Season 4. So, can a toy be part of a cuckold scenario instead of a man? That's one of the questions we're going to explore today. But first, I want you to imagine yourself following me along as we have this conversation. I'm talking, you're following. Take a few seconds here to get into that vivid imagination of yours. Later, you can tell me how you imagined it. Are you on a collar and a leash? Are you meekly following, hands behind your back, while your bare feet are silent on the floor? Or do I hear click, click, click? Are your feet touching the floor? Or perhaps just your hands and knees? I'll lead, you follow. I talk, you listen. So let's continue. I hope that you had a nice holiday, a few extra days off to enjoy. And hey, I hope the bunny was good to you and not a naughty bunny, leaving you carrots and watercress. Fun times were definitely had by those experiencing the vac bed for the first time. The feedback on that one is always one of my favorites. And a quick thank you for the gifts that arrived my way from the good bunnies. It's been a bit wacky with visitors and such. You can likely hear it in my voice that I had a late night last night, but I didn't want to ignore you today. So, if I didn't thank you personally, that's why. It's not because they're not appreciated. The coffee and hot chocolate, that's always appreciated, as well as the fits just right leggings. Doggos are happy with a new toy, and I'm happy with a new Echo that does that trick of streaming the same music throughout the house or flat. It's kind of odd they didn't come up with that feature in previous models, or perhaps they did and this falls under that planned obsolescence. Though it's never hard to find someone willing to take that kind of used tech off your hands. And all of this has nothing to do with the topic for today, which came to me as I'm mulling over a listening room session suggested by one of my dear listeners. Now, if you have a suggestion for a session in mind and you give it to me, you always receive that one as a gift back to you. It's only fair for being my muse and my co-creator. The listening room, it's that place where basically everything goes, where we can flesh out some of these more taboo, risky, or maybe seemingly off-topic topics for Spoken by Elswith. This one was about cuckolding and hearing or seeing unexpected things. Now, for those with that interest, a lot of it's almost old hat, right? You watch 5 videos on it, and you're likely to see the same themes, same positions, scenarios. But let's step back and start small here. And no, that was not an SPH dig, I swear. Can you be cucked by a toy? Let's say a vibrator. I'm willing to bet most of you immediately brought to mind the bullet-style vibrator. Probably 25% came up with the Hitachi wand style, and the further minority have the rabbit one. Maybe due to how this episode opened. You don't actually see the rabbit style that often anymore. For those who have no clue, they basically had bunny ears meant to sit on either side of a sensitive spot. So, a bullet vibe. Yes or no? How about stepping up your toy game to those delightful ones that not only touch upon that before mentioned sensitive spot, but also curve around, delightfully grippy, and vibrate and pulse inside? The toy that she says will be just fine if you're too tired, or want to read, or she can't be bothered to untie you for fun times. Yes or no, can you be cucked by that grippy, vibrating toy? What if we step off the beaten track and wander over to Bad Dragon Land? Are you familiar with Bad Dragon? If not, do not go Googling it at your work computer, alright? Or if you're on the train with a nice old lady sitting next to you, don't do it. They sell custom handmade fantasy sex toys, where a lovely lady can browse the extensive catalog and choose exactly the thing she's always wanted to fill her up. Emphasis on thing. Her perfect fit, her perfect fantasy. You might say that you wouldn't be jealous, wouldn't have those cuck feelings because you're participating. Well, the boyfriend holding the camera is technically participating as well, isn't he? Or maybe he's just holding a leg, or the man's jacket. Let's tug in some pornophilia or statue fun here. I know, when we usually think of sex dolls, the big-breasted, partially open mouth, and the bizarre fingered ladies, they do have bizarre fingers. Really, that's what comes to mind. Now there must be men dolls, Ken dolls, if you will. And our Ken has been customized with that catalog browsed, hand-picked, handmade, and long lusted after toy from Bad Dragon. The first night, sure, you might feel like a participant. What about the third night? What if you are in hypnotic or device-assisted chastity? What if you're the guy that says only another guy could possibly churn up those feelings? I'd have to ask if you've ever tried a sleeve. They're those delightful devices that slide over what nature has given you to enhance it in ways that nature couldn't have dreamt up. Longer, thicker, and often with vibration added to the mix. And many cleverly done, where the man is robbed of most of the sensation, and definitely not enough sensation to finish. So sure, it's still you, but you've never heard her make those noises before. Not without this sleeve, have you? Does that still count as being cucked by a toy? In your most desperate moments, to avoid feeling used or replaced, you could twist it, my clever one. Instead of being the man that's been replaced by a toy, you could simply recognize that you are the toy. And that's perfect. If you're unfamiliar with pornophilia, I'll go ahead and link it here. You can listen to it directly through YouTube, or you can find it on the website. And I'll go ahead and set up a code so you can download it directly for free. Let's say the code is going to be, oh, I got it, Easter treat. So type in Easter treat, all one word, and you will get Fornophilia for free.